It is one day to the Edo State governorship elections. The three major political parties, Labour Party, People's Democratic Party, and the All Progressives Congress APC, the Christian Association of Nigeria CAN, and the former President Goodluck Jonathan have taxed the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC and security agencies on credible balloting. The call came as fears of violence marring the election heightened yesterday, with suspected thugs clashing as INEC distributed sensitive election materials.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, Emperor Tinebe, has accused the Edo State governor of working with suspected military personnel to undermine the upcoming state governorship elections. Tinebe accused the governor, Godwin Obaseki, of protecting some suspected thugs allegedly responsible for the murder of a police officer on July the 18th and planning to use the suspects to cause mayhem during the upcoming polls. Joining us this morning,
on the wanted list of the police was seen in the same vehicle with Governor Godwin Obaseki during campaign. Furthermore, Chief Odiolaye, one of the alleged killer squad of Governor Obaseki, was captured on viral video where he was threatening to burn down Edo if Asue Ighodalo is not declared the winner of the election, Saturday governorship election. 4, we're also aware via the intelligence gathering that Governor Obaseki is working with some army generals aimed at undermining legitimacy of the election. They were seen yesterday. They could be fake army generals, they could be real, we cannot say. But
joining us is Clement Aziegbemi, the Director of Elections for Eastern Southeast Local Government Area. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Those are strong allegations there that have been made. And, you know, these are conversations that we've been having in the past few days, or do I say weeks. Let's talk about the security architecture in Edo State, especially in preparation to the elections happening tomorrow. The police have said that they have deployed 35,000 police personnel to ensure the safety, security, free and fairness of the elections, or freeness. Do you believe that the security architecture is strengthened enough to guarantee the security of the citizens as they come out to vote tomorrow?
Thank you once again for having me. Okay, for me, I think firstly, when we had that the police, which is the lead agency to provide security, what you call the home security, and having over 35,000 policemen, we're taken aback and saying, oh, come on, we are just going for an election. Why this number? In the past, we used to have maybe 4,000, 10,000 thereabout. But because of the peculiarity of what we had witnessed in the build-up to the election, we could understand why the police want to deploy such magnitude of their officers to man security for us, which we are quite pleased with. But what we're not quite happy with in the past to this election was the selective arrest that the police has made, arresting and harassing the members of People's Democratic Party. We are also happy that the last statement or the last press release made by the IGP, where he said he's going to provide a level playing field for both parties. We'll hold him by that words, and then we'll pray and hope that the officers conduct themselves professionally in the manner that will be all to see that they are neutral and they will face what they are called to do in Edo State, which is to provide security across board, not to just one political party, but across board, and the electorate who will be coming out to vote. We will, for the hindsight, believe that they will just do what they are asked to do, because Edo State election will be a watershed to what Nigerians will want to see in going forward from a president who is pure Democrat. When I mean pure Democrat, we know the antecedents of the present president. We know his struggles to democracy. And from what we have seen, he has, a lot of actions coming from his end has greatly undermined those principles that he stood for. So I want to see if Edo State will be the watershed to redeeming his image as a pure Democrat, as somebody who believes in the rule of law, who was in the trenches to fight for this democracy that we currently witness, we are currently in. As for the allegations from my elder brother, I know him very well, the state chairman of APC. He was with us in PDP. Those are weighty allegations. You can imagine how people abuse institutions. He said if they are fake generals or if they are real generals. And I think the Nigerian army will hold him to that account. You cannot make such a laborious allegations against an institution that we are so proud of, that hold integrity. They were the one who were touting the federal might against us, that they were going to be federal might. Some have even said they've written the results already. It's just for Saturday to come up and they declare. And we say, okay, that's not possible because this is Edo. You see, people don't understand when we say Edo is not Lagos or Edo is not like other states. Remember, if you know your history very well, this is the hallmark of civilization. This is where civilization began before the colonial master came in here. So we know what we are saying when we say we are not like any other state. You ring election here, there will be a problem. You can't ring us out. Where we are strong, where we know we will win, then you come in and ring it out with federal might, it will work. So we are saying that we are happy with the numbers of policemen. If they want to control it, we don't have a problem. But they must operate by this standard, setting up security institution to support voting, to ensure that there is no intimidation and harassment of the voters. You saw what happened at the INEC office. It wasn't the PDP supporters that tried to undermine the process. It was APC. Nigerians and all over, you are a journalist. If you do your investigative journalism and you come up with your report, you will know that we know those who have paraded themselves as lions and tigers in our state. It's not Edo State. It may also interest you that our governor, the outgoing governor, Governor Obaseki, has institutionalized discipline in Edo State. Gone are the days where you used to have non-state actors taking charge of affairs in the state. That has gone. We don't have that again. You have a decent environment where people do things decently. And that is why we are looking forward that an Asue Ighodalo and Oge will amplify that aspect of governance.
Just to be clear, Mr. Aziegbemi, kindly hold on.
People go about their business.
Yeah, kindly hold on. Just to be clear, you know, okay, we can't have conversations that sound like we are still campaigning. You know, it's no longer, we've gone past the time to campaign. What we're trying to discuss this morning is really just the...
Thank you if I draw back to campaigning.
Yeah, we're just trying to discuss the details surrounding the election. I would like that you speak, you know, on INEC itself, you know, and of course, you know, the report that was done by CJID, you know, that shows that, you know, a large percentage of people do not trust in INEC's ability to handle a free, fair, and credible election. That report was done, you know, like about a week ago. But before that, I just want to clarify. The current administration has charged 10 people with treason, mostly because of the End Bad Governance protest. Do you see that as very democratic and an administration that has a lot of respect for democracy and the freedom to protest?
Not at all, my brother. You know, I said earlier that the Edo State election is going to be a watershed for the personality and the persons of this present government. Because we know, I was a growing boy or a growing child when the 1993, and we know all the efforts of the present president, Tinubu. We know how he supported that democratic process. And it beats some of us, it beats our imagination, it beats our belief that a government that ensures that we have democracy is undermining every principles, I repeat in emphasis, every principles that support democracy. You can see, I was listening to your analysis. You arrested somebody for 6 months. You hack into NLC project. You pick up the NLC president on his way to attend a program. Come on, these were the things. These were the darkest practices that we saw with the military rules. And even the military president that just left, who metamorphosed into a civilian, didn't display this kind of high-handedness.
So hold on. You know, the point that I'm trying to, you know, I was hoping to make is, you know, that the things that you're speaking about now are currently happening. You know, the NLC president has been charged also with, you know, treason. Protesters have been charged with treason. So, you know, it doesn't seem very different from whichever other government that you may be condemning for not being democratic.
Absolutely.
The current one, you know, so I'm not sure which one that you're speaking about that you say you are proud of and you are expecting to hold on to the democratic principles that he's always fought for and always defended. We might come back to this, but I want you to speak on INEC. There's a report by the CJID that says that, about 60%, 61% do not trust that INEC will be able to carry out a free, fair, and credible election in Edo State. What is the mindset of Edo people concerning INEC this morning?
Thank you for that question. Honestly, that is how we feel. We feel the INEC are not going to be fair to all. And you want to blame anyone who takes in that direction, because we've seen elections, even this one that brought in the present administration. You remember there was one upon a time that a president came in and said, I know the process that brought me in was flawed, but I'm going to make it better. And he set up the Waste Committee. This present government couldn't do that. And that is my pain, that we have a president who from the beginning, from what we know about him, supported democratic credence. But he came in and he's undermining that process. We know the kind of election that was conducted in Kogi. We know the kind of elections that were conducted in Imo State. Those were not the views and aspirations of those citizens of those states. So we are also scared that INEC, in all sense of intent and purposes, might not also be fair in our state. But this is Edo. The people are willing to stand up for their vote, defend their vote, and vote for the right candidate. So, in as much as we have some reservations against the performance of INEC in the past and what they will do here in Edo State, but we strongly believe that the will of the people will prevail, because we will speak out in a very strong terms with our voters card and then defend that. And it will be something that the present chairman Mahmoud should take home as a retirement package, that he conduct free, fair, and credible election. Anything short of that, I don't know if people still have what they call posterity, but that will be against his wish. So I pray he comes and talk to his people here. Nothing but short of credible and fair election. That is what the people yearn for. That is what we should see with a full-blown democratic president from the trenches, senator, governor, and now presidency. We should see things that we are proud and say, oh, come on, didn't we tell you that he's a Democrat, and he has actually proved that with his conduct, with the rule of law, with respect for human rights, and a whole lot of that. That is not what we are saying. In fact, if you ask me, he has heightened every element that speaks to anti-democratic credence, which is very, very sorry. But then we pray that the INEC will redeem their image once more again. We have a president who introduced Beaver's card when he was even running for an election. And the outcome is what we saw that brought the APC into government. We had expected that they would have heightened that, they would have amplified that, and they would build on that. But it does appear that every day, every time, every year, election cycle, they further reduce such gains that we have made in our political journey.
All right.
I know those states will be different.
So we've talked about the INEC's role, we've talked about security agencies and the government. Let's talk about the role of the citizens, because the office of the citizen is the highest office in the land. We have about 4.8 million citizens in Edo State, roughly 2.6 million registered to vote, and about 377,000 are yet to get their voters card. Let's talk about how important it is for citizens to turn out, because oftentimes we see situations where some people don't show up, and when governors start to go the other way, they then have a strong voice to criticize when they're not part of the electoral process. So talk about the role of citizens and the role of civil organizations. Yaga Africa and Election Monitoring Group has deployed about 325 trained personnel to observe the election. So how important is it that we emphasize for citizens to participate and for civil organizations to be a part of this election awareness? All right. Seems we have some challenges with the network. We hope that we can wrap up the conversation with him, but we really have been able to touch on majority of the angles we would have liked to speak about regarding the Edo State elections.